Hi and welcome to another Top 5 Wednesday video, and this week's topic is Top 5 Books Booktube Made You Read. And I actually did a video on Booktube Made Me Read it a little while ago, so I will link that in the description, but I decided to do this anyways, so let's get started. So the first book is going to be, the series, but The Lightning Thief, or Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan. I had heard about these before, like in passing, mostly from the movie, I think, but had never felt like it was something that would be for me or that I would enjoy reading. People just raved about them a lot. Christine from Poland Man's Books is probably the reason I read it, because she explained how even though it's middle grade, it's still good for older readers, I guess. So next is Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this, along with all the rest of the books, I had never even heard of before Booktube. I had never even heard of Jennifer L. Armentrout, and thank you, Booktube. If you did anything, it's that you introduced me to the world of Jennifer L. Armentrout. I love this series. I love her. I have not read a book by her I didn't like, and I love this series. I cannot wait, sort of, for it to finish. I kind of don't want it to end, but I'm also ready for it to end. Next is Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and again, I hadn't heard of this before Booktube, but even still, once I had heard about it, I still kind of avoided it because cyborgs kind of freak me out. I don't know. I do know. It's just weird and embarrassing. It's just a weird quirk of mine. But people kept talking about it and raving about it, and finally I decided to pick it up. I mean, I bought it off Book Outlet, so it cost me like a couple bucks, so it really wasn't that big of a risk, but I'm so glad I did because I love this book. It's freaking amazing. I've only read Cinder and Scarlet, but I'm so excited to continue on with the series and keep reading. I love the world and the characters, and that the series follows different characters but just adds on to the previous characters. And I know Marissa Meyer is a fan of Sailor Moon, and I feel like you can tell in this, and is like a huge fangirl for Sailor Moon, both when I was young and continuing to this day. That just excites me all the time. I mean, there's moon princesses in this series. Why wouldn't I love it? Next is Hopeless by Colleen Hoover, and really, just like with Jennifer L. Armentrout, just Colleen Hoover in general. But Hopeless was the first book I read by her, and this book blew my mind. Before I read this, it's not my favorite Colleen Hoover book, but before I had read this, it had been a long time since a book had a profound impact on me, and not in the way that the content changed the way I thought about things or made me think. That happens occasionally, but in that the skill of a writer has such an impact on me. In fact, I would probably say it hasn't happened in 10 years. I'm trying to think, and yeah, I mean, it comes close, but nothing like this. I haven't felt this way since I read Confessions of a Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella, and I know it's a chick lit book, so it may seem weird that I would say that had a profound impact on me, but it did. And Colleen Hoover's writing, I feel like I've been talking about her a lot lately, but she just amazes me. And this book, I hated this book and loved this book so much. And last, and probably my favorite out of the 5, is going to be Easy by Tamara Weber. So again, I hadn't heard about this book before Booktube, but even then I had heard about it, and I had no interest in it. I was just meh. I was like, oh, it's just a new adult novel, and I didn't really like the cover. I now actually really like the cover. I love Lucas, and I love that he does, even in books that normally have characters like Lucas, where they're kind of alternative, and things like that doesn't usually show up on the cover of the book. I'm so glad that it does, like that you can see his hair is different and that you can see his tattoos and everything. I love it. And I think it was the Book Diary. Is that her channel? I think so. I'll link it below. She's the one that finally convinced me that I needed to read this book and that it like wasn't just like a throwaway new adult novel, but that it was absolutely fantastic. I'm so glad I did. So that is my top 5 books that Booktube made me read. If there's any books that you want to talk about that Booktube made you read, let me know down in the comments. And in the description is a list of all of the other people participating in Top 5 Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Bye!